Welcome, everybody, to this episode of the Really Healed podcast. Thank you so much for joining with us. I have a marvellous guest with me today. He's an Irish man, he's a Dublin man, but he's also a Ballyfermot man. He's an energy healer who spent years in Spain, but he came home with something to share. Not a wellness influencer, not a brand, just a person doing the work, and why he's on the show today. So let's dive straight in, Luke. It's wonderful to have you with us today. So looking forward to this conversation. And how are you?
Thanks a million, Richard. It's great to be here.
Good to have you. Good to have you. So let's dive straight in there, Luke. We won't hang around, right? Give us a little bit of your backstory and bring us on the journey from, where you came from, what you're about, and bring us up to today before we dive into anything a little bit deeper.
Yeah, well, basically, it was around 1985. I went to live in Spain. I met a woman, in Dublin, and I went over, got married over there. To be honest, I didn't understand the word the priest was saying to me because I didn't know any Spanish at the time. We got married very quick. We also got divorced very quick.
Was she a Spanish lady, yeah?
Yeah, Spanish. Yeah. And that's mainly what sent me over. And to be honest, I never thought leaving Ireland. Never. Ireland was part of me, but sometimes we have to go away to find something. It's part of your destiny. It's part of your journey. But I didn't know at the time what was going on. And that's where I ended up in Spain for 30 years.
The merry dance of life.
Exactly. No regrets, Don't regret anything I've done in my life.
And how long did you spend in Spain? You're all right.
Well, it was 30 years in Spain. I did every kind of job. I worked in the airport, loading the planes. I worked in a car park. I worked in rent-a-car. I drove trucks all over Andalusia, delivering in yogurts. That was my life over there, yeah.
And what was it that brought you home, Luke? Or was there a shift in something before you even left Spain? So I know a little bit about where you are today, but, the lead up to that, what did that look like? Was there any super big shift that happened while you were still in Spain? Or give us a little bit of a background into that.
Yeah, you could say there was darkness and light. It was all just basically to do with my awakening. I remember the first time I was working in the car park near the airport. And, everything was great. And then all of a sudden, I was there. I ended up in the A&E. Oh. Not A&E. Yeah, A&E. I drove there and I collapsed on the floor. And that's when the coma started with burst ulcers. That's when it all began.
And how long did you spend in the coma?
I don't know. All I know was that when I was there, I knew lots of people in Spain, but people used to call me that I didn't even know. People used to send me books, crystals and everything when I was in the hospital. Didn't even know them.
Okay.
And I didn't know what was going on. I hadn't a clue.
And when you got out of hospital, what was different to before you went in?
I'm going to be honest with you. The minute I got out of the bed in the hospital itself, I just, the minute I walked out, I knew my destiny, my life was going to change. So I just felt it inside. So I did risk a lot. I made a lot of sacrifices, but I believed in myself. And one of those big sacrifices was I left my job, and I went looking for the truth. So I ended up with all different groups. Some were good, some were bad.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was just met up with a lot of shamanic type stuff. But sometimes I felt I went there on a mission to stop that energy that they're delivering into the world. But I didn't know. I was just looking for the truth from them. But in the end, then you find your own truth. And when I found my own truth, everything just relaxed.
And do you think there was a defining moment that happened for you?
Yeah, definitely. Because I tell you one thing, this is crazy. I had a mortgage on an apartment, Torremolinos. And I went to the bank and I said, look, I can't afford this, take it off me. And they said, well, look, what we'll do is this, we'll sign out this paper, but it's impossible to get it. So let's say, paying $1,000 a month on the mortgage. But I was willing to risk everything because of my own truth. And I was testing myself also, testing the universe. How far can I go?
Yeah.
And then they asked me to sign out a paper. They said, they send it in, and they got back to me and they said, look, for the next 5 years, you can just pay €25 a week. So that five
Yeah.
years was
Mm,
the gap for coming
mm,
back home.
okay.
Imagine.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about when, when the moment happened in that, everything turned around for you, the finding of yourself. Explain that to me. What does that look like for you? What did that mean to you? Or what was different from the old Luke, if that's what you want to call it, to the new? When you knew that, you'd found something that you probably didn't even know you were looking for previous to the event, and then you search, and then there's the definitive moment. What did that look like? What does that feel like for you? What did what was it saying to you? What did it mean?
Well, I'm going to be honest. When I left all the groups, I actually stayed in my own apartment. And I'm going to be honest, I was climbing up the walls. First of all, I had no one to explain what was going on. Now I kind of understand it. So there was so much information, so much energy going on within my own place. It was basically going mad. And I actually contacted my family like through Facebook. I said, look, I'm going to be away for a while. I don't want to talk to anyone. Don't want to speak to anyone, and I just have to do something. And that's what I went through. Like someone would have told me, would have sent me into a mental home when they saw what was going on, the things I was doing. I'd just go out to the shops, back again. But there was so much energy going on about, like I was going fucking mad. Yeah, crazy.
So when the change happened, obviously it was for the better, and everything started to turn around. I know my own experience in my own life. There was a definitive moment for me. It was the make or break time. The piece that says, something radical needs to change here, or something needs to end, i.e., life. I'd had enough, and there was, from my own journey, there was definitely that turning point. Number one, the decision that was made. There was that piece then where I went off to discover what it is I was looking for, which I didn't know at the time, and then it took, I don't know, maybe 9 months or whatever it was. But again, there was that definitive moment. And there was a couple of different things for me that happened. I knew everything was going to be okay. Nothing was sorted out. My life was still a bit of a mess on paper. I didn't have the house, I didn't have the job, I didn't have the car, I didn't have the bits. Not that that's what it was about, but in the eyes of the world, I suppose, they're nearly the expectation of, well, they're doing okay, you know, if you have all them bits. But there was a piece that I had within me that said, everything is going to be okay, you just need to trust and believe. And I had the faith, I suppose, to be able to say, okay, I can hand this over to something greater than myself. I don't mind using the word God, but some people get upset by that, But that everything was going to be okay. All I needed to do was continue to be able to have that belief and faith. And it was amazing for me in that the doors that opened, and sometimes we're looking for the magic wand effect and it doesn't happen. I think of something that I want, so therefore it should happen instantly. But, over the period of time, the right people were put in my path, the right opportunities were put in my path. Didn't mean to say I didn't have to put the work in. I needed to put all the work in.
Mm.
But I was willing and I showed up, and something then radically changed. And yes, there's like an evolution where I grew and we learn, I suppose, as we go and evolve, but that definitely happened. And I suppose, if I can condense all that back to you in that, what did that look like for you? So obviously you came back to Dublin and you had a
Well,
complete.
just get back to Spain when I was in the darkness. So I didn't know I was in that darkness because I had no one to tell me. So,
Okay,
and
yeah,
then in the end, something said to me, look, you have to accept like who the universe is telling you are. Now, I couldn't accept that. If you want to know about it, I can tell you. People would
yeah,
probably get a shock. But
yeah.
I do say.
Do tell me about it.
So in the end, I accepted who I am.
Mm,
And the moment I accepted, it went away. But I knew it was a big responsibility, huge, where I might have to offend people with the truth, whatever, without actually going out there and telling them, but just through my energy. They can feel it, who I am. So in the end, I said, okay, I accept who I am. And then the fucking all disappeared. And so the following day, I called a friend of mine because I knew then I had it inside me.
Yeah.
He's not spiritual or nothing. And I just put my hand on his head and he actually said, Luke, what the fuck was that? And then I knew I had something. So I traveled all around Spain doing healings, workshops or whatever.
Mm.
And that was until I came back.
And how long ago was it that you came back to Dublin?
6 years, I think. Could be just over 5. Again, that number is very magic, the 5 number, you know. And then when I came back, I spent 5 years with the youth service, you know, on a CE scheme.
And tell me, Luke, did you feel you were drawn to come back to Dublin, or what was? Yeah.
It's like I always say it. Look, I didn't come back with 7 years, but I came back with something inside of me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you, Spain taught me a lot. And what taught me a lot was the physical touch, kissing, hugging. Never had that. Like growing up, 10 in the family, we never had that. Not just that there's 10, but that's the way everyone was basically brought up in Ballyfermot. There was no hugging your mother, hugging your father. Now Spain kind of opened up that door. In relation, I actually say Spain opened my heart, and I brought that back with me. You know, I got involved with the youth service, doing a lot of work even with the lads, you know, from Cherry Orchard, Ballyfermot. We're amazing people, actually. And the youth service, there's no words can describe the what's going on there. There's something I have to tell you, okay?
Go for it.
It's come up now, right? And I don't know why. It's just all a coincidence what's happening today.
We'll
Did
go
I
with the gut.
mention to you the other day I did an online to India?
Yes, you did. Yes, yeah, you touched
That's right. So
Yeah.
I did an online to India. To be honest, it was just an amazing experience. My friend Christine, now this is all coincidence. My friend Christine that I sent you the psychotherapist and all that.
Yes, yeah.
She's actually like I sent the client on to her because she has information for her. So at this moment where we're talking, that's happening. There's an online reading now going to India. I actually feel emotional now talking about it. This is real, Richard. You never
Healing,
discovered anything that's happening on the earth now. Never. This is it.
healing is a very real thing, and I suppose for a lot of people, and this is part of the reason, Luke, I do these podcasts. You know, we're all different, and what might work for you mightn't work for somebody else, and I totally get and accept that. And that's why I love to see different perspectives and different approaches and things like that. But regardless, I truly believe that healing is possible for everybody, and the power that's in it, and you know the difference it can make in somebody's life. And it was lovely listening to you there even a second ago talking about, you know, your experience in Spain, you know, rediscovering the kiss and the touch and the hug. And, you know, I suppose I was a very big skeptic for years over lots and lots of different things. And I was a little bit opposed or afraid of nearly the woo or the airy fairy or, you know, stuff that looked a bit fluffy.
Mm.
And it didn't make sense to me. And, you know, what I see now with my analytical mind at times is that a lot of that stuff is now being scientifically proven, you know. So I look at the neuroscience of it and how it affects the brain and how the connection between the body and the brain and the gut and the heart and the brain and the science behind it, which takes away all the woo and all the fluff and all the rest of it. There it is in hard evidence. It's been proved that it works, you know, and the difference, I actually only put a few videos up on this a couple of weeks ago about the power of a hug and the connection,
Okay.
the connection of a kiss, how it affects the chemicals in the brain and how that affects the body, the
Dopamine and all
serotonin
that.
and the
Yeah.
dopamine, exactly, right? And the power of touch, to just be, you know, to touch somebody's hand or to shake somebody's hand with meaning.
Mhm. Exactly.
Or you spoke about the power of healing by just placing your hand upon maybe the crown of their head, you know, and the power of touch and the neuroscience behind that is fascinating because it takes away all the fluff and the woo
Mhm.
that was there for years. You know, when people would say, don't mind all that healing stuff, it's a bit airy fairy or a bit hippy dippy or whatever word they wanted to
Yeah.
put.
Yeah.
And now the science backs it up, and you know it makes it so much more real. But regardless of all that, it's the importance of it and that it's there for everybody.
Exactly.
So what I heard from you was that Spain was part of your healing journey, and in order for you to heal others, and to pass that gift on, because I truly believe we only keep what we have by giving it away. But that that healing process needed to happen for you first in order for you to be in a position to be able to do that. Does that
Yeah,
make
well,
sense?
the coma was the key, you know what I mean? So I, I was living sex, drugs, rock and roll. You know what it's like in Spain. You're always on holiday, even though I had a full-time job. So it's like the universe just stopped and said, look, Luke, stop what you're doing. This is the way we want you to go. Even me boss, when I know I'm getting the story kind of mixed up, but there was an
Yeah.
incident when my boss sacked me from rent-a-car job. I was waiting for years.
Mm,
And you wouldn't believe it, the day before I went out and I bought this fucking 50-inch TV, like pay off it every week. And the next day I go into work, my boss sacks me. So I had to get the TV back. And I actually said to him, and I did then, years later, I says, Antonio, you've done me a favour. I know you have by sacking me. And one
mm,
day I'll thank you for it. And I did, so the stuff out there, there's things out there.
yeah.
They want to come to us, but we're stopping them.
Mm,
So the minute we stop, listen, connect to your heart,
yeah.
that's when the vibration goes out and you're allowing the things to come in. There was a time when I was renting apartments, renting all the time. And then one day, the landlord kicked me out. Let's, all the usual, just wants to
Mm,
fucking make money during the summer or whatever.
mm,
And I said it to him one day, I'll thank you for this. I know it's in a bad way then. And
mm,
that's when I ended up buying my own place. Well, with the mortgage and all, getting my own place. And I thanked him. Said, Miguel, thanks a million for that. Because I now have my own place thanks to you.
mm.
You forced me. So sometimes we get comfortable, but the universe has so much for you out there. It's waiting.
If you're, yeah, if you're open to it, yeah,
The things are queuing up for you, waiting
yeah.
for it to come in. But we have to open the door, the hearts, to receive it. It's only through love. That's the only thing.
Well, love is the key. It's what makes the world go round, I believe.
Exa-
And
Exactly.
we we have a great misconception of the word love. And I because there's so many different variations and forms of love, and what is love and what does it look like. So I wrote about this, and I think I've said it before in a different podcast. The English language done us an injustice with the word love, because I love a bag of chips, and I love fast motorbikes and nice cars,
Yeah.
but that's a very different love to the love I have towards my child or my grandchild or a loving partner or a best friend. All of those are different types of love. But in
It,
saying all of that, love
yeah.
is the key.
It
Love is
moves
the key.
mountains.
It
Richard,
does move.
I have something for you.
Bring it on.
So while you're sitting there, who's the
Mm,
first person that comes up in your head?
me.
Wow. That's really powerful.
Because
No, no, hang on.
yeah,
Tell me the next one that comes up.
it would probably be my daughter,
Good. Tell me the next one that comes up.
my granddaughter.
Wow. Tell me the next one that comes up.
I'd probably have to put a bit of thought into that.
Yeah, tell
But
me.
I've a
Jordan.
good friend in mind.
That's right. Tell me the next one. Now, I'm going to provoke something here, okay?
Mm,
Sometimes I don't have to, but I will.
mm,
Put a name on that. Put
mm.
a name on it, Richard. Put a name on that person. Put a name on it.
Do you know? Do you know what actually comes to mind? And it's probably not any particular person, or maybe it is.
Right.
It's the difficult to love. It's the hard to love. It's the person you probably don't want to love, but you love them anyway.
Yeah, but give me a name.
A name.
The name of that person.
Well, I would say Carol is the name of the person, which is
Okay.
my mother. Which is my mother. Very
This
difficult
is it, right?
to love.
So kind of
Yeah,
breathe through your nose and just let your body relax now. Let that energy out. Is your mother alive or dead?
she's very much so alive.
Exactly, right? So we've taken her energy away from you now.
Mm,
Just tell me, right? No plans. Feel your
mm.
shoulders. Are your shoulders a bit loose now?
The shoulders are loose. Yeah.
Right? Move your neck. Exactly. That feel good?
It always feels good.
Right. Just feel good now.
Does.
Yeah. You know why? You see, we're carrying energies with us, belonging to others.
Yeah, that's
Good,
right.
bad, dead or alive.
Mm.
What we've
Mm.
done here now, that's why you couldn't put a name on it. It's buried deep in your subconscious.
Well, you know what, Luke? I could have put a name on it actually, and I was holding back.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I could have actually, and I was trying to fight the feeling.
Exactly. See what we've done here? That's what I'm saying. Feel it now that it's been
Mm.
released from you. Now, when you see your mother,
Mm.
she's either going to hug you or run away from you.
So there's a similarity, Luke, there with yourself in that. Do you know the way you said you learned something when you went to Spain and people hugging you or kissing you or telling you that they love you? So that wasn't the environment I was reared in, and there was a lot of other stuff that went on. But I suppose when you grow up into an adult and then you're able to sit with yourself or find yourself, you come to realize and you get a bit of an understanding as to why they were like that. It's not to justify it or let them away with it.
But do you know the most important thing is now? Is you. Your relationship now is going to change with your daughter or kids or whatever.
Mm,
If you're with a partner, your whole relationship is going to change now. Because this was holding you back, this energy
mm,
from your mother. It's like an entity that's inside of us.
yeah,
And
yeah,
once it comes out, that's what I was saying it to you because
mm,
it didn't want to come out. That's what you're saying. Yeah, it's there, it's there. No, I didn't know who it was, to be
yeah.
honest.
When you're in the moment,
I knew now that was your mother, and you're
mm,
just feel free now. You understand? They're
yeah,
not inside you. When they're inside you, you cannot
yes.
be yourself. It's impossible
Yeah,
to be yourself.
I think for me, Luke, because I suppose I've been doing work on myself for many years, and this is just one of 1,000 times that would have come up. So for me, healing is that very thing of release because it'll come back, and it's okay if it comes back.
No, it won't come back. You know why?
No, why?
Because the issue is the
Mm,
healer,
yeah,
right?
okay,
So if the healer's not 100%, they cannot
mm,
make you 100%.
yeah,
I am
okay,
100%. I can make you 100%. And I
mm,
guarantee you, the other day I got a tattoo done. It was on Sunday, Monday. I got the appointment on the Sunday when I was talking to you and all.
yeah,
And I went in and I knew we had to meet with a man.
mm,
He has months and months of wait list.
mm,
You know what he said? Come in the next day, which was a bank holiday,
mm,
right? Doesn't work on bank holidays. Well, he let me come in. I knew we had to meet,
mm,
not only for the tattoo itself,
yeah,
but I did a healing on him.
mm,
I hit people on buses. I hit a taxi man when he dropped me off. This will never come back to you again, Richard, because we got
mm,
rid of the old Richard that was carrying all this
yes.
stuff.
Mm,
And now we have the new Richard. And that's the way it is. Gone now. Our energy is gone from you. That's why we're meeting today. I'm not here to advertise. I'm here for you. I
mm,
mentioned to you, I only heal the special ones. I only heal the healers
mm.
so
You
that
did
they can
actually
heal
you did
people.
say that to me. You did say that to me. Tell us a bit about, Luke, and you touched on it there. How is it people find you, or how is it that you find people? What does that look like? And is there a general or a consistent thing that will happen in the healing process? What does that look like?
What do you mean in the healing process? Are you asking me that?
So I suppose first of all, how do people find you, or how
Yeah,
do you
I
find them?
understand that. Yeah.
And then, if somebody came to you, they find you for a healing session, what does the healing session generally look like, or can it be different
Yeah.
for each individual?
But basically what it is that, well, I always find the person. I always say when I'm at a show, I know who's coming to me and who is it.
Mm,
The people, mostly is donation based. You know what I mean? So that doesn't matter. And if they don't have donation, it doesn't matter because I can't refuse a healing to anyone.
mm,
I actually remember I was on the plane to Australia, going to see my family there. When you stand up, stretch the legs, we were just standing up there. And I did a healing on a fella when we were standing up there on the plane. So, can be anywhere.
yeah.
And again, really, the other day I got the bus. It was only 5 stops. Woman sitting beside me. We start talking. See, it's like their soul that's telling me that person needs help. you know. And we
Yeah.
just sitting there, and I put my hand on her head while we were sitting in the back seat of the bus.
Mm.
That was it. So they just, so that's why it's not word of mouth. It's not like I
Mm.
don't do publicity.
Yeah.
Really, you go onto Facebook, you probably see me at the Mind Body Experience events. I think I'm on a page or something on that in my picture. Somebody
Yeah.
put it on. I don't do social media to advertise myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
So, what word would you use to describe that? Is it that it's intuitive? Would that be the right word to use?
I
You're
wouldn't
in.
even use that.
No.
I told you, we're in a very special time, Richard.
Mm.
Had to meet up with you because you're going to feel different now when you're with other podcasters. Your energy is different now because you haven't got that energy of that person who was there that was actually holding you back.
Mm.
You feel all around here. This is like the blue chakra
Mm.
because you never really spoke your truth.
Mm.
You never spoke out, and we can suffer with aches and pains. And I guarantee you, any ache and pain that you have in your body is going to be released now because we've let that energy, the entities. Like I had someone at an event and chronic pain, like here around the neck or something, the shoulder. And it was the energy from their grandfather,
Mm.
you know. But
Yeah.
I could have feelings that could go on for 2 hours. But sometimes what that is when there's abuse, and
Mm.
especially sexual abuse, because it's very deep within the subconscious of that person. I've
Mm.
actually had healings. This is crazy, actually. Had healings where someone that you were abused when you were babies, just like
Okay.
you, what came out
Mm.
that person, another one, they could actually, when I doing the healing, they could see someone abusing them when you were a baby. And one the other day, and I was blown away by this, actually was in an incubator when she was abused. But when I was doing the healing, she could see someone standing over her.
Mm.
So once she sees it, she's released. And I can tell you a case, and that's why I don't have millions of people queuing up for me.
Luke, you said something a few minutes ago there. I'd love you to touch on it a bit more for me. You said to me we're in a new time. I think that those were your words, and if I'm wrong, correct me. We're in a new time, or there's a change going to happen. Talk to me about that a little bit, will you?
Okay. This is before it's time actually to mention this. I'm going to be honest,
Okay.
because I'm not out there
Mm.
I'm not trying to convince anything to anyone. I'm just out
Yeah.
there with me truth.
Mm.
It's their conscience. They say, oh, that's wrong.
Mm.
If they say something to me, well, I'll just take it, whatever. So
Yeah.
it's the way it goes.
Mm.
Basically what it is, look, the plan is heaven on earth. All from here, coming down. Now, I'm going to come straight out and say it. We're going to live forever. I'm not going anywhere.
Mm.
I'll probably be dead tomorrow. And this, well, yeah, he said we're going to live forever. So we're going to live forever. We're going to live forever in this body. No dimensions, no nothing.
Mm.
There's light coming into the world now. And I actually can prove it that God is here now. It's not Jesus. And for all those Jesus people out there, I'm going to be honest with you, Jesus didn't do good when he was here. And his father was very, very unhappy with it. When you're here, you shouldn't be doing miracles. You shouldn't be doing this. You kind of demonstrate to people who you are.
Mm.
You never have to demonstrate to anyone. I always say the ones that tell me my power and everything I can do is my clients. There was actually an incident last year. This couple came to see me. It was quite magic around there. It was quite nice. She had 5 miscarriages. She came to see me at an event. She's with me 1 hour. Put my hand on her head. I saw all the babies actually leaving her. The energies.
Mm.
She could be 25 weeks now pregnant. So basically what it is, this is everything that's happening now. It's just magic what's going on. And that's why, it was getting back to Jesus. So he shouldn't have demonstrated to anyone. He shouldn't be there with that power. It's like the power of the eagle.
Mm.
Shouldn't be there bringing people back to life, turning the bread into oil or whatever it is and feeding it millions or whatever. Because when you have something inside, you don't need to demonstrate to anyone.
Mm.
And that's why I always go with this. When he was on the cross, what did he say to his father when he was on the cross? Something like, why did you forsake me or something like that?
Mm.
Because he
That's right.
didn't understand why he was taking them away.
Mm.
And he took them away because of that. So God is here now.
Mm.
And
Would you say?
sorry,
You-
and
Go
I
on.
always say, if God was here now, He would be doing what I'm doing. So we're awakening people to their own power and to their own truth. So I'm not asking people to come to my meetings. I'm not sending them books or anything. And there's lots of stories. Even that girl Christine, she was at an event. The tarot card reader. I called her over for the healing, and she'll tell herself did a healing, then all of a sudden she's doing all the shows. And in other words, our life is thriving at the moment. So awaken who they really are.
Yeah.
That's all.
An awakening of your true inner self.
Exactly. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you call yourself a spiritual person?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
God,
Okay.
everything. My full
Yeah.
name is Luke Mary Joseph. That's the name my mother gave me.
Yeah.
Never liked it before. I do now.
I want to go back for a second, and sometimes I'm looking at wellness, as an industry, I suppose, and often it's seen as a very middle class thing, with retreats and expensive therapies and supplements and all that kind of stuff. But what I want you to talk to me a little bit about is, in a D10 context, in a Ballyfermot context, so you were rare there, and then you went back there. And I suppose you knew what it was like to grow up there in the 70s and the 80s. And, I've plenty of friends from the area, so I'd be well familiar with it myself. But, I suppose it wouldn't be uncommon, to know that Ballyfermot was a bit of a deprived area, and there's a lot of stuff that went on there in terms of addiction and crime rate and different things like that. And give me a little bit of your own take on the mental health. I don't want to call it a crisis, but the mental health problem, I suppose, and addiction and different things like that. And what does healing in that area look like today?
Yeah, I actually like that question because I always have an answer for it. Basically, what it is, the devil, yeah, doesn't exist. God exists. Devil doesn't. The devil is the ego, okay?
The
Drugs,
ego. The
the
ego.
ego,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
drugs, power, everything. So the devil is in Ballyfermot. The devil is in Cherry Orchard. The devil is in all working class areas. You know why? Because that's where the most powerful spiritual people are. That's why he suppresses. That's where they are. And that's why he's there doing all that. So the day will come, areas like Ballyfair, Cherry Orchard, when people awaken. Even in the youth service, I listen to the lads. Say, oh, my mother's into the crystals. I love the crystals and everything. They're more spiritual than the people who say that they're spiritual.
Mm.
I remember one time, sorry.
Do you think that comes from a place of a deep longing, So I've often heard the description, with say even in drugs, right? So, like taking drugs is like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, So
Yeah,
in other words, there's something within us all that needs to be filled. And we have all the things of the world, whether it's drugs, women, sex, fast cars, whatever it is, nice watches, nice clothes, whatever, all the trimmings that the world has to offer us. And we try to fill that round hole within ourselves with all these other things when it's available to us for free if we just know what it is that we were looking for.
now the devil also exists in the spiritual circles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's
Yes. Well, that's the sheep in wolf's clothing, isn't it?
exactly, and when you think about that, to me, that's really
Yeah.
sad and it's horrible.
I think I said that the wrong way around, isn't it? Yeah. The wolf in sheep's clothing, yeah. Yeah. But how do you think, and you touched on it there, but just talk to me a bit more about it. How receptive do you think people are, in Ballyfermot to healing?
Well, what I did, look, I went for a Lord Mayor competition and it was based on the fundraiser. It's in Ballyfermot. There's only
Mm,
two of us. I raised 8,500. The other candidate raised 11,300. So she
mm,
won it.
yeah.
And but what I loved about it, I organised different events to
Mm,
raise money.
yeah.
And I held a holistic day
Mm,
in the Civic Centre in Ballyfermot. It was amazing.
Mm,
Now, the quality that was there was amazing. The quantity, not so much. No,
mm,
probably different factors or whatever. That doesn't matter.
yeah.
I healed about 25 people that day. The card reader, Christine, she healed about fucking 30 of them. It was an amazing day, the way people took to it. And actually, for the first time ever, we're doing, let's say, there's a festival that we do every year, Ballyfermot Arts Festival.
Mm,
And there's a place here called Markovich Park. And on the 12th of July, we're actually doing, the last day. So we
mm,
do a big, big event. And for the first time ever, because of the holistic day I did in Ballyfermot, someone saw me, and now they want me to set up a holistic corner in at the festival, where there's going to be about 2,000 people or more.
very good.
And
Yeah,
that's amazing because we're going to reach out to the people in Ballyfermot. This is what
yeah.
I'm saying. And another thing, I don't know if you'll understand this or not, but Christine, as a tarot card reader, she's been to lots of places.
Mm,
But she said she never experienced her channel. When they get the channel with all the information, she never experienced that anywhere, but only in Ballyfermot. Says, look, I couldn't believe it, all the information was coming into me. Now, I'm going to be honest with you.
mm,
Ballyfermot's the first place that's going to awaken.
mm,
And Cherry Orchard. Then Ireland awakens spiritually, and then the
mm,
world. But the key is we have to awaken the feminine energy.
mm.
When I was in hospital for a bowel infection, but I had a great experience. I was actually healing people online from the hospital bed.
Right.
I healed one or two nurses also.
That's powerful stuff. Come here, and I suppose the question I want to ask you is, do you have a teacher, or do you have a guru, or do you have somebody that you're inspired to, or that you're drawn to, I suppose, take from their experience or wisdom?
No, no. And I say the same to you. Don't look to those gurus. Stop looking for information. Allow the information to come to you because you're unique. And you're going to be healing people. I'm telling you from now on. Because basically what you imagine before, you were holding everything back because of entities or whatever, energies that were with you from others. Imagine now you're transparent, your body is loose, everything. All the right people are going to come to you now. Everyone that
Well,
comes to you will be perfect because you're going to also help them and you're going to heal them. You become the healer now, Richard.
Luke, do you think so? We had a conversation the other day on the phone, I suppose, before we arranged this podcast, and just kind of touching base with each other and stuff. And I had said something to you, and I just wanted to bring it up again because I think this is really important for somebody listening that will hear this. As part of my own journey, there was definitely a piece of, I don't know the right way to describe it, but I'll call it a lack of self-belief or a lack of self-confidence. So knowing that I had a gift internally,
That's right.
and then a fear that came with that,
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
be able to act on it. So and I gave you an example. So I had an experience last weekend where I was with a close friend and I hadn't seen them in many years. And in my, I'll call it my own personal spirit, in my spirit, I really, really felt so strongly just to put my hand on them and pray for healing, right?
Lovely. Yeah.
And my head, I'm having the dialogue in my brain, right? So my dialogue in my head is going, don't do that, she'll think you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Right? And my spirit is saying, put your hand on her and pray for healing for her. And I'm then second guessing everything, right? So I'm having this dialogue in my head, but you don't know what she needs to be healed of. You don't, and my spirit's saying, you don't need to know, the healing is for her, it's not for you.
Brilliant.
Just do what you're told, kind of thing. And anyway, eventually I said to her, I said, is it okay if I put my hand on you and pray for healing for you? Right?
Yeah.
And it lasted, I don't know what it was. It was one of those moments where it could have been 60 seconds or it could have been 20 minutes, and it just happened. And I suppose it went on for a few minutes. But afterwards, she said, I don't know what you healed, she said, but something happened.
Shift. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
And she said, how did you create that heat in your hand?
There
She
you
said,
go. Yeah.
I felt like you were nearly burning me at one stage, the heat
Yeah.
transference.
Exactly.
And she said to me, was that Reiki?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I wouldn't call it that because I've never done Reiki, or been trained up in it or whatever. I said, I just know that I needed to lay hands on you, and I did.
Exactly. See the
Uh,
way the clients are telling us what we
mm.
have. I'm always saying it to all of them out there. Let the client tell you. Don't try to convince them who you are. Let them
And
tell you.
for me, the experience afterwards was, why did I second guess myself? Who cares who was looking at you? Who cares what other people think? If that's what you're led to do, do it.
Yeah, but you know his voice. Do you know who the voice was? The other voice.
Well, the doubt, the voice of doubt, I suppose,
No, it's the
is,
voice of your mother.
it could well be. It
So
could
she's
be.
not there anymore. So you're just going to do these things
Yeah.
automatically now without even thinking about it.
Mm. So sorry, I said all of that for a reason. So, and I'll tell you why. We spoke about I'll call it the Great Awakening, if that's what you want to call it. You know, where people will have that urge or desire to want to find themselves, to find that their true authentic self, I suppose. And you know, the importance of not having, because I'm sure that there'll be many that will doubt themselves. I can't, or I wouldn't be able to, or I'll argue with that feeling that comes up
Yeah, but
inside.
Richard, you're part of this network now.
Yes, so I'm talking about for the others that may be listening in here today.
Yeah,
So what would
I'm
you say
saying that
to them?
you're the healer now. You
Mm,
understand? You're the healer now. That door just wide open now. So when you do see someone, but you're going to be doing it. See, the reason why you're blocked from your voice, which is the throat chakra, again, we didn't speak our truth, we didn't come out, but because it was blocked, that's where your power is. Your
okay.
power is in your words.
Mm,
When you're talking to someone, you're not just talking about yourself.
mm,
They're resonating with you.
yes.
And don't ever feel you're talking about yourself.
Mm,
You're healing that person, just like the way I was in India yesterday, healing someone. And they're getting back to me. He said, Luke, that was amazing. She's actually starting now to go to workshops, feminine workshops or whatever. But she never thought about that before. And it's the power that we can do over the social media.
Talk to me a little bit, Luke, about, because you mentioned there, you know, getting back in touch with the feminine side. Talk to me a little bit about the destructive nature, I suppose, of toxic masculinity.
Wow. When I was in hospital, I got an awakening. Some people call it epiphany. Yeah.
Mm,
And that awakening was that to follow my mother's name. So my name is Costello, her name is Constantine. And I explained that when we were born, we are basically kidnapped. We are kidnapped into the masculine energy and taken away from the whole female energy itself. There's a point I always make about it all started in the Garden of Eden when they say that Eve ate the apple. So she sinned. From that day on, women have been hidden away, chastised, or whatever. But what happened was Adam who ate the apple. That's why we call it the Adam's apple. What was so women have been ridiculed, they've been burnt, killed,
mm,
all with this male dominated ego stuff, bullshit, I call it, that has been going on.
mm,
So what I decided to do to follow the Constantine name, and the name is fucking famous all over the world. Was an
mm,
emperor, freed the
mm,
slaves or got people back to it. Powerful the name. So I'm thinking, imagine if I would have been brought up with that name, Constantine.
mm.
So my father also, so he had his father's name where he should have had his mother's name. So he was
Yeah.
kidnapped also. He was a victim in this.
Mm,
And when we waking up, I actually had a bit of a laugh for some rebel people I know. And I was saying, imagine if we all would have had our mother's name. Fucking English wouldn't have touched us.
yeah.
It'd say,
Very,
look at that,
very
the
custom.
fucking Constantines. You know what I
Mm,
mean? The whatever, that kind of way. I know
yeah.
it's the Costellos. They'd be drinking in the pub, fucking telling jokes, and we could easily invade them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're awakening the feminine. I got a tattoo done on my chest the other day. It actually says Eru. And Eru was the old mythology name nearly for Ireland. Then Era came along,
Yeah.
was the very old, but it's feminine. So we're awakening this feminine power. And when I did the healing in India, that girl said to me, she's going to a workshop now, and it's all about feminine energy.
Yeah.
So we need. So
Mm.
what's happening at the moment? You know, with Trump, all the wars, everything.
Mm.
They don't even know themselves why it's going on, but
No.
we do. The
Mm.
more light that we're putting out there, and the truth, which is the feminine energy, which is the soft stuff, yeah, they're panicking. They don't
Mm.
know where to turn. But it's only through the female that we can take this world back again. It's the only way.
Yeah, very good. Just a couple of more questions, Luke, and we can wrap this up. This is the Really Healed podcast. What does being really healed mean to you? What does that look like for you, for Luke?
I like to say, when you come through me, they're really healed. I like that name.
What does that mean to you, though? What does that mean to you?
Well, again, look, Richard, you're going to go out now and you're going to be healing people just like me, but you'll be doing it in your own way.
Of course.
And for me, that's my mission. So it's like a network. You know, we spread it. You know, I'm going to be in Galway now on Sunday, just doing a session down there. I was in Kells last week. It was magical. So all the fairy energy, all the feminine energy. We're awakening that.
Yeah.
People don't know what's happening. It's coming up from the earth, Mother Earth. Beautiful. What's going on?
If you had a message to somebody who was sitting on the fence about trying this, what would you say to them?
Again, it's not just about trying it. It's what belongs to them. Like I did a healing on a girl, let's say, up in Sligo, let's say a year ago. And she cried when I put my hand on her head, you know, everything. Do you know what she does now? She sings as a professional singer. Do you know what I mean? So
Found her true, authentic self.
exactly. And there's another one actually became semi-professional cyclist.
Yeah.
It's whatever belongs to you, you know, to say it won't pass you.
Yeah.
So they're not about them. So, and I know the minute they come to me, some of them don't even know that they're healers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I see them 2 years or a year later at an event, and then they're fucking telling me, Luke, that was from that day on.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you about the one that won the Mercedes and all?
You told me on the phone, but tell the story again.
Yeah. So let's say about a year ago, this one was actually homeless. Yeah. Came to me, did a healing on her, and she didn't even have the money for the healing. I think I took a donation. So yeah, just took a donation of her. And she went off and all that. She calls me a year later. She says, "Oh, Luke, when you did that, she won a car, €20 ticket. Mercedes, actually," she said. And then she started up her own business. And the day that she actually called me that evening, she was waiting to get news back on the house and everything. She thought that was impossible. The following day after we spoke, they called her and they told she has a house. So whatever belongs to whoever, that's all. It's not, it belongs to you. You deserve it, if you know what I mean, whatever it may be. So it's, to me, it's all simple, you know?
Yeah. One last question. If the younger Luke from Ballyfermot could see you now, what would he think and what would you say back to him?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff when I was young. I'm going to be honest, but I didn't know what was going on. So finally, look, I can honestly say,
Well, what do you think he would think of you today and what would you say back to him?
yeah, be very proud of everything I've been through. Even though everything at the time probably seemed like chaos or whatever. But again, it was all part of my journey. I'm going to be honest, a lot of people don't have to go through that. They don't, because, Richard, we're here now. I'm here. You're here. And we're going to be out there healing those people. Really, there's going to be so many people just queuing up now for you because you're free. I love that, you know, from Fields of Athenry. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. It's the way it is. Nothing matters. You're free.
Free as a bird.
Exactly.
Very good. But that's come to the end, Luke. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love the conversation. We will definitely cross paths in the future. I know we will. I'd love to sit down and have a nice cup of tea with you and a further chat, you know. And you never know, we might be back on the podcast some other day. But for everybody that's joined in, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. And if nobody told you today, the Mouse Williams loves you. This is the Really Healed podcast. Stay tuned. If you haven't already followed us on whatever platform you're listening, please do. And we'll see you all very soon. Thank you.